It's been taking me a while to do this just because, I wanted to do this with Skully.
Hello everybody, I'm a cameo.
Yep, and I suck without it. So, as the title says, I'm going to be doing my CD collection. So I've been doing my own CD collection for about a year now, and excited. I might as well show it off just like everyone else I've been watching. So, yeah, I'll start off with...
He's really original with what he does here.
You bet. I'm original with the sunglasses.
Which you stole from me, and I'm gonna kill you through your sleep. In fact, I'll just travel through this screen and strangle you. And you, audience, don't think I don't see you out there, because I'm watching you.
I think that joke overstayed its welcome after the first 3 seconds.
Son of a bitch, I gotta work on my act.
Anyway, speaking of comedic acts, here's my first one, the Bill Engvall Here's Your Sign Reloaded. Now, this one I just bought mostly because it's cheap, but I enjoy plenty of Bill Engvall stuff, though I only have 2 CDs, and you'll see the next one. But this one's a pretty short one. If you like this style of comedy, the more redneck style, you'll probably like it, but, just something that I enjoy. It does have 4 songs on the back, but I could care less about them. But, here is the...
I have no idea who the fuck Bill Engvall is, but...
He's a stand-up comedian. He is a stand-up comedian. Now, here's the Aged and Confused Bill Engvall CD I have. Now, I actually found the video of this on YouTube, liked it, and found the CD for like $5. Got it because I hate trying to, get audio clips from YouTube. It never works for me, so gotta go with the CDs, but, I like them. So, this is, again, just basically another stand-up comedy CD. I listen to it every now and again, but not as much as the music CDs. So, next to the music CDs, we got Pearl Jam. This one I actually used... Yeah, I actually used to... I had an older version of this, which got scratched, so now it wasn't playable, but then later I got this one, but I used to listen to it a lot, and I still enjoy it a decent amount. A lot of the music's pretty good, and it's nice that now I can listen to songs past number 3. It's not scratched. This one isn't scratched. But, favorite song on it? This one would probably be... I think my favorite song would be Even Flow or Jeremy. Worst song...
Yeah, Jeremy is a really, really good song.
Yeah.
I remember doing a report on it for my high school a couple of years ago, which... it was actually a very, very dark music video, and I think it was probably the last music video that Pearl Jam actually did until Do the Evolution back in 1998. So yeah, Pearl Jam trivia, one of the big 4 of grunge.
Yeah, well, that's this one. Now, next on, a personal favorite of mine, The Best of Dokken. Now, generally I do like getting best ofs, but I don't try to do that a lot just because I usually miss out on a few songs, but this is the only one I could find. But this song is probably one of my most consistently liked CDs. Tons of great metal songs. Best track is a really hard one. I think my favorite track would be Tooth and Nail, but there's the soundtrack. This CD in general is full of great songs, such as Breaking the Chains, the live version of Paris is Burning, Into the Fire, and, of course, for Nightmare on Elm Street fans, Dream Warriors.
Can't go wrong with this, mostly because it was a horror movie.
Yep. And now here's this one, the Red Hot Chili Peppers By the Way CD. I don't really listen to this one. I don't even remember where I got it, but I have it.
I don't generally listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, I listen to weird bands like System of a Down, but these guys are just way too weird for me.
I like the song By the Way, but I don't really listen to it a lot, but I figured might as well show it. Now we're getting on to the movie soundtracks. Now, I love movie soundtracks. That's my favorite general thing to collect. And we're starting off with a personal favorite of mine, the Star Wars Return of the Jedi soundtrack. This one, anyone who likes Star Wars will probably recognize this. This one is, out of all the Star Wars movies, probably has my favorite soundtrack, mostly for things such as the Sail Barge Assault, the ending ceremony scene, and, of course, my personal favorite, the music. I don't remember what it was called, but it's the music that plays when Luke burns Vader's body. This also has a few alternate versions, and also a concert version of the Forest Battle, and it's a pretty damn good soundtrack.
Although I think that episodes 4 and 5 had the more memorable soundtracks, I do think that episode 6's soundtrack is still pretty good in its own right for a lot of the individual tracks.
Mm-hmm. But, for another great track, Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, have you ever seen the movie?
I've seen the movies, but I don't really remember much about them.
Oh. This one I listened to quite a bit. This is, I think, one of the easiest ones for me to just play at any given point. The Pirates of the Caribbean movies, most people just like the first one, but I, unlike most people, like the second and third pretty well. Not really the fourth, but I think the first one probably has the best overall soundtrack. But this one I would definitely recommend to people who did enjoy the movies. It's a very entertaining soundtrack that I don't really know what to say about it that isn't kind of obvious for anyone who's seen the movie. But I'd say give it a listen.
Yeah, if you like pirate music, you'll probably like Pirates of the Caribbean, which is probably why you're watching it in the first place. So, buy it now from Disney, your lords and masters.
Yep. Speaking of Disney, let's go on to a different side, the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack. This one was pretty interesting, the CD I got, because this one has both the regular soundtrack with the songs, but on its second disc it has a number of the songs being performed by other bands and people, such as Marilyn Manson, Fall Out Boy, and it also has several demo versions of the song that were sung by Danny Elfman. This one is...
Now available at your local Hot Topic.
What?
Now available at your local Hot Topic, because they're really big on Nightmare Before Christmas stuff.
I got this at a Barnes & Nobles.
Son of a bitch. It's evolving.
That's where I get my soundtracks. But this one, for anyone who does like the music, again, I'd say this one is actually a pretty interesting one, if only for the demo versions of the songs.
You know, if I could make a little point here, I really don't know of any music stores that sell movie soundtracks. I mean, maybe that's just something where I live, but that's kind of a rarity.
Yeah, I'd love to see him sell video game soundtracks too, and we'll be getting to those soon. Next up, though, for I believe the last soundtrack, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This one is pretty iconic for its main theme, though I think my personal favorite is the final track with the final gun duel. But it also has much like things such as Pirates of the Caribbean, it's very easy to listen to at any given time. But outside of its main track, its main theme, and several other individual tracks, I wouldn't say that a lot of it sticks out too much. Don't get me wrong, it sounds very, very good, and I love it. But I don't know if...
you can say that the entire album overall is good, bad, and ugly.
No, it's all pretty good. I wouldn't say there's any track in here that I find really bad. The downside is some of the tracks are so heavily blended into, being in a movie that
they're ugly.
That they just don't stand out as well on their own. But I still love it, though, myself. Next up, the decade of hits of Charlie Daniels Band. I will never deny it. At heart, I'm a complete redneck.
Yeehaw!
Nah, you're... Well, ironically...
Well, I just assume that's how all Americans act, with their cowboy hats and their yeehaws.
And me.
And you.
With my amazing sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
But this one, I don't know if how many of my viewers really like country music, but I listen to it a lot. I listen to it a decent amount, though. This is the only real CD that I have for it. But favorite song on this would probably be... It has Devil Went Down to Georgia, which is probably one of the more popular ones, but my personal favorite is the song Long-Haired Country Boy, mostly for its laid-back tone and attitude.
Does it involve pickup trucks and incest?
No, not at all, actually. I'd suggest listen to that. And now, the AUI Corvette. Fun story about this. I was actually screwing around on a CD website, found this randomly, recognized the picture of Ryan Drummond, who, in case you're wondering, is the voice of Sonic, thought that was interesting, looked at 4 of their CDs. It was actually around Christmas. It was early December when I picked this up, so that's why I grabbed this one, but haven't listened to it since after Christmas, mostly just because I'm lazy and don't feel like listening to Christmas music after Christmas. Though it is nice to hear an a cappella version of Christmas songs. I hate what they play on the radio. It is so mind-numbingly irritating.
Michael Bublé will haunt your nightmares forever.
No, it won't haunt you.
It does, because they play it every fucking Christmas at my house, and it makes me very pissed off.
I can agree with the pissed off part, but I just get bored and my brain goes numb to it. But here's the next one, and I hope I can pronounce this right. Axel Rude Pell. This one, for many people, for many Sonic fans, they'd probably recognize the singer Johnny Gioeli, but this one is from one of the other bands that he's involved. This one, I don't remember why I got this one, but it does have some great tracks, specifically their version of Hallelujah. But this one, I will admit, I don't listen to that much, but still a decent CD. I don't have that much to say about it, though. But next up, we got Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. Now, I wouldn't call myself a big Michael Jackson fan, but yeah, I like a decent amount of his music, but this one's a pretty damn entertaining one. I generally hate disco music, but this is probably one of the ones that I really like and consistently like. So I'm pretty sure that's the best endorsement I can give for this. Best track.
He says that, but disco will never die.
I'm not gonna give a response to that. But
I think that spoke more volumes than before you said that. So, yeah.
Best track on this CD is without a doubt the Don't Stop Till You Get Enough song. Worst one, probably Girlfriend. That song just bores the hell out of me and comes across as filler. But
So I suppose you got enough of that and just stopped.
No, I listened to the rest of it. I listened to the whole thing. Enjoyed it pretty consistently. But that's all I have to say for this one. Next up, once again with Michael Jackson, we got Thriller. Now, I'm not sure how many people have heard of this CD. Have you heard of it, Skully?
It's pretty obscure, in my opinion.
Anyway, this one I don't think needs too much of an introduction. It's the best-selling album of all time. But best track on this would probably, for me, I'd say would be actually Beat It, along with Thriller. Though, worst track is probably the Paul McCartney collaboration, The Girl Is Mine, mostly just because the dumb, giggly goofiness of it just clashes with the rest of the album, and ugh. Really bad.
So girly.
Really bad song. I hate that one. But of course, I don't need to give an endorsement for Thriller.
I think Michael Jackson is the best death metal artist that ever graced the presence of the earth ever.
Fun fact, apparently some of his music was actually influenced by metal, though specifically Queen, who, while not really a metal band, could easily...
rock into the metal, though.
Though they have some very metal-based songs, though, to them.
Yeah, I'd say influences more than anything else.
But next CD, we got Bad. Now, this one I kind of have a kind of on and off kind of thought on this one. In many ways, compared to Thriller, I think this one's a bit better, but in other ways, not so much. The CD itself it comes across to me as like a big random collection of radio-ready songs. I mean, look at the title track. Does the more punk rock style of Bad sound like it has any place next to songs like The Way You Make Me Feel? It's kind of weird. It's very...
I think that was mostly done as an attempt to keep Michael Jackson closer to the pop spectrum. But honestly, in my opinion, I think they should have changed this album's title from Bad to Good, because I think this is a good album overall.
Bad isn't, it isn't bad. But it's very inconsistent. I actually watched a couple weeks ago. I watched this one documentary on it, and apparently what I found out was pretty much gave very good focus onto the inconsistency. So apparently there were a bunch of different songwriters all competing to get featured on the album, with the general idea is that it'll produce better songs, which was true, but as a result, it all feels very inconsistent. It sounds like you're listening to several different bands in one. Definitely a great collection of songs, but it's kind of it. I would still recommend it, though. But now for the final Michael Jackson CD, and my personal favorite, Dangerous. This one is a pretty interesting one, and certainly a bit of a far cry from the last Michael Jackson albums. This one actually has a far more, what's the term? say a bit more of an urban style, and it even includes rap in it, which is all right. Best track, without a doubt, is the title track, Dangerous, which is my personal favorite Michael Jackson song, but it does have one pretty big problem. It has a very top-heavy soundtrack, where the first half is kick-ass, but the rest of it, with the exception of the end track, Dangerous, is just full of really bad ballads, with probably one of the most irritating songs I've ever heard, Heal the World.
Yeah, in fact, it's so dangerous it causes careers to bleed.
Yep. But now, with the main CDs, now to get the video game CDs.
Right, cool.
Of course. So, to start off, we got the True Blue Best of Sonic CD. So this is what really started the CD collection that I got. But, looking back, I don't really listen to this too much, just because I have so many other CDs that have, all the other Sonic music. This one, though, if you only would to grab one CD, I would suggest grabbing this one, since it has a lot of the big memorable ones, such as Live and Learn, Escape from the City, His World, and all that. But it does contain the US Sonic X theme, so try not to hold that. I try not to hold that against it, but Though on the bright side, it also has the Super Smash Bros. Brawl remix of Angel Island, so not too bad, pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't really like the Angel Island remix of Smash Bros.
Next one is the soundtrack for Sonic 1 and 2. This one's a pretty interesting CD, since it not only comes with the actual music from the games, but it comes with a second disc that also plays the demo versions that were made before it was converted into the Genesis sound chip. This one I would certainly recommend for people who like the game music. It also has a third one, which I've been too lazy to bother to figure out what that music was. I don't know, I haven't listened to it. I think it was if I remember right, it was other music by the guy who composed this music, but doesn't really have anything interesting for me.
In terms of a lot of the Sonic music from Sonic 1 and 2 is that I forgot what the composer's name is. It was like something with an M. Something like that. Yeah, he owns all that music, so that's why you don't hear Green Hill Zone in any Sonic game too much, because Sega have to pay the guy royalties, which is why anything after that, Sega decided to copyright a lot of the music to their retrospective Sonic games. So yeah.
So next one, the Sonic Adventure soundtrack, the Digilog Conversation soundtrack. This one I got really lucky getting this one. This one goes for like hundreds of bucks. I got this one for $25 through an auction because I guess no one was noticing. This is for me when the Sonic music started getting really, really good. It has all the music from the game, which unlike the 20th anniversary edition, which cuts so much of the music. This one, I think the back really shows just how much music there actually is on this CD, and just how much work was actually being put into this. This one doesn't, however, contain the vocal tracks, though. Just a side note.
I think that was mostly done just so it could compile the level themes all into one disc, and honestly, for the amount of music that's actually there, the many genres, it just sounds so good the way it just kind of melds itself together.
Yeah, it does have the main theme, Open Your Heart, though, as well. It also includes the theme for Eggman and Gamma, which I love them.
Same here.
This one, if you can download it on iTunes, I would recommend that. I would not suggest going after the CD. I got lucky to get it at even a fair price.
It's probably the most cost-effective way of getting it.
Yeah. But next up, we got my personal favorite of the soundtracks, Sonic Adventure 2's. Now, Skully, take it away. I give him an opportunity to speak and he stays silent.
Sorry, I was temporarily replaced by Michael Myers.
What?
Sonic Adventure 2 as a soundtrack, it's just good. I have nothing to say about it. It's my favorite soundtrack in the series, such as is yours. There's nothing I can do to describe it. It kind of speaks for itself as how much I enjoy it. Unless you're one of those people that go, it's too much rock music, man. Even though there's a good mixture of, hip-hop, there's also a bit of...
I love the Tails and Eggman. I love the Tails and Eggman music, the rock and techno.
Oh, yes. Now that is some of my favorite stuff, especially Eggman's themes with Cosmic Wall, the Sand Ocean.
Weapons bed.
God.
Weapons bed for the win.
Yes.
Weapons bed, best mech stage. Weapons bed.
One of my favorites. Oh god. And you know what? Even for some of Tails' themes, it's pretty good as well. Like Prison Island, Mission Street.
I'd also say Hidden Base is a pretty damn good mix. Also, very much like the stage, I think Eternal Engine gets better the more and more I listen to it. But I think special mention also needs to go to the Shadow stage music.
You know, Shadow stages, lyrically, musically, everything just kind of blends together perfectly and it completely suits the character that it was written for.
And not only that, not only the stage music, but the cutscene music's also fantastic, and the Chow Garden music, which is on this CD, is also wonderful.
Even if the cutscene music does kind of drown out the characters that are talking, but you know, fuck it, it's good music. So
yeah, depends on the depends on the music and the version of the game you got. Like, depends on the scene and the version of the game you got. No, I knocked several CDs over.
Oh no!
But that's Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack. Now I gotta organize this.
Always focused on organization. Don't worry, I'll hold the fort with commentary of some description. Allow me to read out this pizza delivery menu. Online Mega Week.
No need, I finally got it all fixed.
Damn it. I was about to read these people good quality pizza for $7.95.
Nice. But here's my personal favorite CD that I have, the Sonic the Hedgehog Passion and Pride CD. This contains the vocal themes for Adventure 1 and 2. It also contains the theme of Eggman and EU102 from Adventure 1, and a badass remix of It Doesn't Matter. This one is probably my personal favorite, and I'd suggest this if you like Adventure 1 and 2's vocal themes. It really, listening to now, prior to this, getting this CD, I didn't care. I very much loved some of the songs, but after listening to the other ones over and over, I started really liking them as well, such as the Knuckles theme, Tails theme, and even Big's theme. The only one on this I don't like is the Amy theme. That one just sounds weird.
But come on, man, her Sphinx is cute. She had to shave it.
No, we don't speak of that. We don't speak of that song. But
well, Knuckles does get it on by himself.
Let's not repeat those memes. But still, great CD, great collection of songs, and I'd certainly recommend it for anyone who's interested in that music. Next up, we get Sonic Heroes. Interesting thing about this CD is this one also contains the music for Sonic Adventure 1. I don't know why they did that, but this also has the Adventure 1 music along with Open Your Heart, which the Passion Pride CD doesn't have. But this one is kind of it's a pretty decently, consistently good one. I like pretty much all the themes here, except I could care less about this machine. I didn't care that much.
I will disagree with that because, and maybe it was because Julian Kay was still fresh out of the band Orgy at the time, but I really do dig the industrial metal sound.
I do like the sound, but it's probably my least favorite of them. Still, I'd say it's a pretty decent CD. Next, we got the Lost and Found Shadow the Hedgehog vocal track. This one is
a very, very good soundtrack.
Very much so. I'd say that the vocal songs this game has some pretty good vocal songs. A few of them I could care less for. I've never really liked Almost Dead, and I Am All of Me just That's all I can say about that one is
I would strongly disagree with Almost Dead, mostly because of its instrumentals. Like, there's a guitar solo that's like 2 minutes and 14 seconds in. Sounds really fucking badass. And as for I Am All of Me, it generally fits the tone of the game it was trying to be in, so honestly, maybe it's just my metalhead speaking, but those are songs that I can generally get into.
But even then, I wouldn't say that the songs are outright bad. I think Almost Dead's vocals sound hilariously stupid. But
it's the lyrics more than anything, I'd say, because again, you have lyrics like Heaven Can't Save Us, Hell is a Joke. I put it down to Spider-1 weirdness. Yeah. Basically.
But regardless, I'd say this is still a pretty damn good collection of songs from a pretty underrated game. Next,
I would put a strong mention to the song "Chosen One" by A2, which I feel is really underrated by a lot of Sonic fans.
Very much so.
I think you should listen to it if you're into mellow rock music.
Very much so. Next, we have the Sonic 06 vocal track.
Some tracks in Sonic 06's soundtrack are decent, but
this CD is interesting to me, mostly because looking at the additional ones, the alternate versions of songs, it actually makes me very confused why they went with the ones that they went with. For example, the Zebrahead and Crush 40 version of Hid's World are far better than the one they went with.
I would definitely agree with that. In fact, honestly, if it was up to me, I would have put both of the Crush 40 and Zebrahead versions in the game as either part of the final boss fight or as part of the title screen music.
And the remix of Silver Seam is far better than the original. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. But this one, I don't have too much to say on. It's all right, and if I got it pretty cheap, so. Yeah.
Well, if you'll allow me, I do have something to say about Dreams of an Absolution. So, if you'll excuse me, 'cause every night I will save your life.
I will click. Continue that crap. I will end the Google Hangout.
No.
Oh, we've hit 26 minutes. Let's move on.
Oh, well, let's keep going.
Yep. Next, we got another personal favorite of mine, the Sonic and the Black Knight vocal track, the Face to Face soundtrack. This one is, much like the game, is very badass.
I really love a lot of Black Knight's tracks, man.
Yeah, it very much is. This one has
turning Sonic artists as well, such as Richard Jacques, Howard Drossen. Even Tommy Talrico makes a couple of songs for this game, which is pretty fucking nice.
I think for me, one of the big highlights is Marty Friedman from Megadeth's version of guitar work for With Me. There is one...
So much...
Go ahead.
Well, in terms of his instrumentals, there was two versions of With Me, which was one of which was the Ultimate Power Mix, which was Crush 40, and there was also the original version, which featured two female singers and Marty Friedman. Sounds very good. In terms
The
of
singers from
versions,
all
I think
ends.
the Crush 40 version has more power behind it, but I think the two female singers from the original version with Marty Friedman, I think their vocals kind of coalesce a little bit better.
There is one big problem with this CD, and its name is Bentley Jones. His version of Seven Rings in Hand is so bleh. You know, I've heard all three versions, and this one sticks out as the absolute worst. And it's irritating because that one song pretty much hurts an otherwise near perfect collection of songs. Shame, really.
I remember the first time I listened to that, and
I think I showed it to you. I think I let you and CJ listen. The second the guy started singing, you guys just groaned.
Because it had such a nice vibe going for it so far with the music, and then his vocals cut in and it was just...
But on the whole, I would definitely suggest this CD. It has some great and pretty underrated songs, such as Fight the Night and especially Through the Fire. That one I think deserves a lot more praise than it gets, along with Live Life and the pretty commonly known Night of the Wind. And for the last Sonic CD, I have the Sonic Generation soundtrack. This one, I think, very much accompanies what I think of the game. The early stages, or the early songs, I think are, alright. I really love the remixes they do with plenty of the Dreamcast stuff, and even some of the stuff and I love the music from Sonic Heroes and Sonic 06, but I'm kind of mixed on the Unleashed music, and I can't stand Colors music.
They ruined the Unleashed music. I will give an honorable mention to the Chemical Plant Zone for the modern remix.
Oh, that one is awesome.
I couldn't really care for anything else beyond Sonic Heroes, though.
I thought Crisis City was pretty good.
I really think they probably should have included a stage from Shadow the Hedgehog in that game, but what are you going to do?
Now, this one has 3 CDs. Now, the first one has the console music, the second has the DS version, and the third has mostly the boss and cutscene music. So the second disc, I barely listen to. It has I do like the music they put for Emerald Coast, but the rest of it, Now,
well, the thing that's for Emerald Coast is that they barely changed anything about it, which is Both a good thing and kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, well, this CD, though, this soundtrack in particular, has one massive problem with it, and its name is dubstep. The remix for Supporting Me, the Cash Cash version of Escape from the City, and especially the version of Radical Highway are fucking terrible. These ones are grating to listen to. Now, it does have some decent tracks, and I don't mind its remix of For True Story, and I think its version of Open Your Heart is decent, but it doesn't entirely gel for me. A pretty good soundtrack, but it really has some massive problems for me.
It screws up some of the songs compared to how they were originally, and I guess you could put nostalgia as one thing for it, but honestly, a lot of the songs just kind of gel better for the games that they were initially in, without the remixes.
And now for the Crush 40 CDs. First, we got the Supersonics Best of Crush 40 CD. This one's a pretty good CD. It has a lot of the more memorable Crush 40 songs and a few remixes such as Ungravitify. And it also has some other pretty good songs such as Revvin' Up, Into the Wind, Watch Me Fly, which was from, I believe, the Thrill the Fill CD that they did, along with a remix of the Colts song Firewoman. And it has another song, Is It You, which I think is pretty decent. This one I would definitely recommend if you like the vocal songs from Sonic games. Next, we have...
So last, you discover a little something new about the Crush 40 if you want to further explore their discography.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I guess it also adds a little bit more to Crush 40 if you want to see what's more in their catalogue. So if you want to check out more of Crush 40, but you just want to be familiar with what they have in their Sonic games, I'd say go ahead with this one.
Mm-hmm. Another great one, though, is the Crush 40 live album. This one has a good it's basically what it says. It's Crush 40 singing their songs live. It has it has pretty much all the very well-known ones, such as Sonic Heroes, His World, Open Your Heart, Now the Wind, Live and Learn, and all that. And it has some of the other ones, such as Sonic Boom, their version of All Hell's Shadow, Firewoman, and Sonic Youth. This one is a
Just like the Cash Cash version of Sonic Boom, though.
What?
I just like the Cash Cash influenced Sonic Boom for.
I didn't like it all that much either, but I think the actual singing guitar work basically helps redeem that song. But still, if you still like live albums and their music, I'd say go for this one. This one's a very great collection. And now the final CD, Crush 40's Two Nights to Remember soundtrack. This one's a pretty interesting one. The first 4 tracks are basically studio versions, and the rest of them are all done from a live concert. Now, this one I got pretty recently, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I love Two Nights to Remember, Big Mouth, and Down and Dirty. I didn't really listen to that much of Light and Day, but for me the big highlight was stuff from the live concert. I think one of my personal favorites was their live version of Live Life. That one was probably my favorite, along with Revvin' Up, which is my personal favorite Crush 40 song. It also has Never Turn Back, Sonic Youth, With Me, and the studio and live version of Two Nights to Remember. I would certainly recommend this one. It's a pretty good CD. And that is all my CDs. And conveniently, the more Sonic-related ones and the regular ones all stack up together in 2 nice piles. Anyway, that's basically all I have. See ya. Any last words, Skully?
Yeah. Kids always recycle. To the extreme!
Okay, well...
Really busted your eardrum, so I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, well... See you next time.
Bye.